I think Demi was cast in so many different Disney projects because there was a natural edge to her that made her authentic and believable as an actress or as an artist. I think they needed her to make their projects cooler.
Everything happened so fast.
We officially signed, and the next day I booked her a plane ticket to go on tour with the Jonas Brothers.
All of a sudden, I was on tour writing songs for my album with the Jonas Brothers, and then I was on a tour of my own. Looking back, I think that it was a lot for anyone, let alone a kid.
I think that Demi being on the Disney Channel, now looking back at it, I can connect the dots and say that there was an immense amount of pressure.
I was now working on my music and my TV show and movies all at the same time.
That lifestyle is really crazy. Not a lot of people understand like the pressures and the time and the amount of work that it actually takes to have such a successful career in the entertainment industry.
So many more expectations put on her than a normal 15, 16-year-old girl would have.
She was living two lives. Here she was, she had to be squeaky clean on the Disney Channel, all types of moral clauses and just intensity around behavior. And once the camera stops rolling, she's living another life. She couldn't really be herself. She couldn't be a normal teenager.
I definitely felt the pressure increase when the fame started to creep into my life. I started feeling pressure to look a certain way, to sing music that I felt people would like, rather than sing music that I would like. There was more pressure to succeed, you know, numbers on charts, and I was a perfectionist, and I really wanted to be the best of the best.
When you are carrying a franchise, there is a standard that everybody expects you to operate at.
They were great to work with.
And I think that it caused a lot of anxiety for her.
And it didn't let up at all. It just mounted more and more.
All of a sudden, she had to be this role model, and I don't think she was ready for that.
I think we started to notice, and really it was the Jonas Brothers kind of like waving a flag that Demi may be veering off the path.
At that point, you could just feel that things were getting wobbly. It was almost like the wheels were starting to fall off. Prior to that, I think anything that was going on would have been chalked up to, she's a teenage girl. That was like the easy answer, was just to say, well, she's a teenage girl and she's going through stuff and she's being dramatic.
She wasn't this sweet and lovely girl anymore, and it was kind of like a, hey, f you, and I just want to be a kid and do what everybody else does. And like my friends in Texas want to like drink and party, so why shouldn't I drink and party?
Demi had real anger issues.
Difficult, harder to be around.
No, just show me. I have a photographic memory.
Demi was pulling anyone that she could like manipulate and change.
She was depressed. She would sleep all the time.
I think it became obvious that she was struggling with herself.
And I didn't realize that it was actually signaling a larger issue.
While we were on tour, Joe and Demi's relationship had become really complicated. So I was playing the bridge, and it became really good, you know, between she and I for a while, and growing closer than we'd ever been. And I remember thinking in my head, you know, I felt like a bit of pride about it. Like, selfishly, maybe I was like, I'm helping her back into, you know, coming back to being the Demi that we all know and love. And she's not gonna do anything crazy, it's gonna be fine. And then this episode happened.
I was in Colombia. I was on the Camp Rock 2 tour. And I invited a bunch of people to dinner, my band and my background dancers. I paid for all the alcohol. Somebody ended up getting weed. I was on Adderall, and we had trashed the hotel. The hotel was like threatening us. They went to some of the dancers and asked what had happened. And I think they told on me for using Adderall. Somebody told Kevin Jonas Sr. and Phil and my dad. I was very upset. I couldn't believe that it happened. Now it was out that I was on Adderall. The next day, I was in a lot of trouble. I remember going to Kevin Sr. and saying, listen, I want to thank whoever told on me because I know they were just worried about me. And you know, I just really want to know who told you. And I manipulated him into telling me who it was. And he said it was Shorty. Shorty and I had been really close through Camp Rock and Camp Rock 2. So when he said Shorty, I remember thinking, I'm about to beat this bitch up.
I remember I was up in the front of the plane.
She had already boarded the plane.
Demi walks up onto the plane and I heard some commotion.
I just went up to her and it was like a blur.
And I turned around and Demi had punched her backup dancer in the face.
Everyone was freaking out.
She walked right past me without acknowledging me.
I just remember going and sitting down.
Just this angry look on her face.
Texting my mom, I'm sorry.
Put her head on her pillow and shut out the world.
And I slept the whole day.
That was when it dawned on me that this was probably a much bigger situation than just a kid who wanted to party.
I just came to a breaking point.